there was so much talk with election integrity. Jocelyn Benson, she wasn't, I heard clerks say that they were really frustrated with her because they're like, are you going to do this mail-in ballot thing? And she wasn't like totally honest with people. And when certain things came down, they found out like basically when it came out in the news. It did cause a lot of chaos with people handling elections because that's such a small part of what you actually do.
I've got 94 total employees. 4 of them work for elections. So I looked at it and I says, wow, this is the most visible part when I first came in, but I'm the clerk of the court, so I do all the court records. I run the jury room. We have in the other, that's one building. In another building, I've got vital records, which is birth certificates, marriage certificates. I do CPLs. We do probably 60 a day, CPLs up to 100. And we're current still, today. So if you want a CPL today in Macomb County, you can get it today. That's not true in a lot of other places. Register of deeds. So we do all the deeds for Macomb County. So between those two, we do about 300,000 records a year.
Wow.
300,000. But the important thing is it's a very diverse job. It's not like other positions in the county where, if you're the sheriff, you're the sheriff. If you're the treasurer, you do the money, and, the prosecutor has his job. But mine is so diverse. It's in so many different areas and so many employees, and it's in 3 different buildings. So I've got, I get my exercise. I'm running from one building to the next, just trying to manage them all.
So what would you say that concerned about people about 2020, what have you learned from those mistakes and going forward trying to fix it?
We are collecting all the USB drives and we're putting them into our machine. So we're going to be able to do a hash validation, which means basically we will know because the thing people are saying is that the computers got hacked. And they asked me, was ours hacked? I says, I can't tell you that. I can't tell you that because I don't know. We didn't pull all these USB. Now we're trying to get them all right now. But the bottom line is I am going to be I'm getting pricing right now. There's 2 companies that can do it, that are certified to do it. We're going to have our server at the county do a forensic imaging of our hard drive, and we're going to send it out for analysis. So if anybody did get into our hard drive, I'll be able to know that. I'll be able to know that based on the information that they're going to send back. And the hope is they didn't, right? But I'm not hoping one way or the other. I'm hoping for the correct answer.
Yeah.
Whatever the correct answer is all that I'm concerned about. And I'm not looking to disprove or approve. I want to know what was the right answer. If we were hacked, then heads are going to roll. Something's going to happen. Right?
Yeah.
If we weren't hacked, then we have to eliminate the server as a potential problem, and we have to look at other things that might be out there. And it might come down to very low-tech things that are happening, that happened out there, if they happened at all.
Yeah, so people keep saying that they want to audit the election, and Jocelyn Benson said there's no such thing as a forensic audit. And I've heard some people make the case that even if nothing did happen at all, isn't it weird that we don't have an election that we can properly audit?
A couple things. These tabulators that are in each of the communities, the machines actually have the ability of doing a digital image of that ballot, but it was never turned on. And I'm telling you, across the state, that's the case. And I looked at it, I said, why are we not doing it? If it has that capability, it seems like a good thing, because now if somebody wanted to FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, and say, hey, I want to know how Precinct 8 in Chesterfield Township voted, or I want to see the ballots. In the past, they'd have to get all the paper ballots and go through a very tedious process of looking at each of these ballots. But in the way we're doing it now, if you want to do that, you can get that digital image. And it's very cost effective. You can get it, and you can go through and look at all the ballots. You won't know who they were that voted, but you can see the ballot. You can see how the computer or how the tabulator scored it. So you'll know that, you see, all right, it's circled there for Joe Smith. You can see Joe Smith was a yes. So you can compare the two, and you can compare it to the actual results and see if it actually all made sense.
So why wasn't that a thing?
I can't answer that. I wasn't there, but it's a thing now. It's a thing in Macomb County now. We are doing that. We did it in August. And guess what? It worked pretty good. I wasn't sure. Maybe it was going to slow down the machines. Maybe there's reasons they didn't. I can't tell you how they.
In your experience, did it slow down the machines?
No, nobody even knew the difference. So it's silly to think that we can't embrace technology to keep an eye on ourselves. And this is one way of doing it, is understanding that these machines have a purpose. Some people want to get rid of machines, and I know they're going to hear this, oh, you got to get rid of the machines. There's no bigger way for fraud than to do a hand count. If you don't have both things going for you, you can always do a hand count. But if I give you, a couple thousand ballots right now, can you please hand count them for me? You're going to go through that process, and there's a likelihood that you're going to miss something somewhere, right?
Yeah.
It's just human error. The machines get rid of the human error, but humans can now back check the computers. And I think that, when I say computers, the tabulators.
Because I don't understand why they wouldn't be using this. So how do we move forward to kind of have a uniformity with this?
I think that's something that has to happen at the state level. I think legislators need to start saying, hey, you got the technology, you need to use it. And I believe that we in Macomb County, I want to lead the way in finding these best practices. I want to be able to, it's called a hash validation. We want to hash the server before and after, and did anything change? Did anybody infiltrate into our system? I want to be able to tell people, no, they didn't. Okay? Or we got a problem, somebody did. But the truth is the truth, whatever it is. I think we need to, we shut off our modems for the November election, because I asked Verizon for our logs, because let's talk about how these work on the internet, right? Because they said it's not hooked up to the internet, but these machines, the tabulators are not hooked up to the internet like you would traditionally know, like your laptop here. What it is it's a zero tunnel, they call it with Verizon, and it's a dial-up. So when the election is over and the tape is run, a signal is sent out, a dial tone is sent, and the results are sent to the county. Okay? People are saying it was hacked. Well, was it hacked? Wasn't it hacked? I asked Verizon, I want all the logs. And they're getting them for us. So we had our attorney send them a letter, and they've been very graciously responded immediately, but I still don't have it. It's been about a week and a half. You know what it's like dealing with phone companies. God knows. All right. So
I guess it's easier when Obama's like looking through your phone records, though.
How easy is that?
It's probably a lot easier.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we're going to get those, but because they weren't in time, I shut off the modems because I want certainty in our elections. Okay. So just know that we shut them off for this November election. I know clerks are very upset. They're very upset with us because now they got to bring those USB ports, and the public's going to be upset because they're going to be waiting for the results a little longer now. But I know there's no interference on the outside.
That's not a long-term thing you plan on doing? You just want it for the meantime until Verizon gets the data back, or what?
I trust Verizon, but I want to verify.
Okay. Trust but verify?
Trust but verify.
Okay.
And if I can verify it, then I know I'm in control of that, then I'm okay. But at this point, I'm not in control because I don't know the answer. As soon as I know the answer, we see what we're dealing with, and then we may just continue on. We may not continue on. We'll see how it goes.
I'm concerned, moving forward, that there's a lot of people just totally discouraged and don't plan on voting.
That's a danger. That's a real danger, and I got to stress, I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican, you utilize your constitutional ability to vote. You need to exercise that. And just know, I can tell you in Macomb County, going forward, we're going to have pretty strict type of elections. So, and certainly on our end, on the county end. But the dangerous thing that I'm seeing with Republicans is they're so rightfully caught up on this, but they shouldn't let it distract from the future.
Yeah.
Let's work on making it right. Let's make everything we can right, but we have to remember, your vote counts. Every vote counts. And it's just a matter of not letting other things into the system, and that's my job, to make sure other things don't come into the system that's going to water down your vote. And we're doing things. There's people on the streets, real patriots that are on the streets canvassing neighborhoods, and they've turned over things to us that I've turned over to the FBI and the state police. So they were in my office today. So we're turning these things over. Are they great numbers? They're not great numbers. It's a lot of work to find these things, right? But it's concerning that they would even exist at all.
Yeah.
I think it's important that, the local clerks do their jobs and they check the signatures when they come in. And they do that kind of hard work that is going to be so important in future elections.
You had some slides that you wanted to address. So why don't you walk me through a little bit of...
Yeah, and I want to set it straight.
Okay.
There's a lot of people that really want to do the right thing, and I want to do the right thing, and I research everything that's brought to me to try to understand and see. But it's frustrating when I get things that aren't necessarily accurate, or maybe, I don't want to say fraudulent, but they're missing the mark, and they're telling people that here's the problem. So I think the first one came out of Mike Lindell's symposium, and he put these shots up here, and I'm just showing you a little example. There's thousands of these, but I highlight that one area that it shows that Macomb County, and there were several of these, and I collected them all, and if the next screen will show you where they were all collected. Every single one but one of these are bogus. They're not real. So they're telling people Macomb County got hacked several times. Not true. One of them is true, but it wasn't our server. Here, if you go to the next slide. So absolute proof video showed, but it shows that the web hosting server in San Francisco, California was no connection to elections or the county network, was infiltrated. So it has nothing to do with our election server. It had nothing to do with Mount Clemens or the Macomb County server. So it had nothing to do with elections, but they're insinuating that it was, right? Mm-hmm. They were insinuating this, and people say, "Look, there's absolute proof." Well, it wasn't true. Then just recently, there was this other video that was out there. You can go to that one. The big lie is Frank, and they point to the same type of information, but now they realize probably that whatever those was, 7, 8 of the websites weren't accurate, but now they point to one from Japan, and that's the next slide. And this is what they base that off of. Again, Macomb County Clerk's website wasn't a part of it, nor was our election server. Mm-hmm. It doesn't point to us. So these are the things that people send to me, but it's not true. And we did the research. We did it ourselves. We didn't depend on anybody else, and that's what we're coming up with. I don't know if I had another one here. Yeah. So there was a group that was a nonprofit group that was in Michigan. It says, "Hey, we're going to find the fraud on the streets. Can you help us?" And you can type in a person's name on this website, and it says, if it says, I think active was the word, that means that they voted in 2020. So I had somebody tell me, my mom voted, she's been dead since 2017. She voted. My sister voted from Oakland and Wayne County. Come on in. I want to research this. Come on and tell us what you're doing. So she showed us this website, and she looked it up, and she says, "Look, here's my sister. It says she voted in Oakland. She voted in Wayne." Well, we checked the QVF, and indeed, her sister only voted in Wayne. She goes, "Yeah, that's right. She voted in Wayne." Okay, what else you got? Well, your mom, right? So we looked up her mom, and it shows that her mom was taken off the voting rolls in 2017, but she did vote in 2016. Mm-hmm. But she did not vote in 2020. Another lie. So these things, I don't know who set up this website, but it wasn't an accurate picture of the elections. So many people did research based on this, and it wasn't true. So these are the things that frustrate me, because I do a lot of work I want to, hey, we got something here, right? Mm-hmm. Well, we don't, and that's the problem. And there's some of these things that are spread. And anything that we find that we can find some truth in, we're gonna do the research, and we're gonna bend over backwards to do it. And we've done it with quite a few people already, and that's why we got the FBI involved, and we got the state police involved, and that's why we're changing some of the systems that we have here. And anybody that's got anything that they want to question, I'm willing to listen. Sometimes that gets me in trouble. because I listen a lot, but I think it's important. That's what I'm paid for.
Hi everyone, this is Christina Barr. Thank you so much for watching that clip from the live show. Feel free to watch the entire broadcast on either YouTube or a Facebook page. If you would like to support Black Teen News, please go to blackteennews.com/donate, and please check out the merchandise we have in the store. And as always, thank you for being part of the conversation.